Liverpool 1, Newcastle 2, and Newcastle are the 2025 Carabao League Cup winners, ending years and years of pain and frustration of their fans. Here is a review of the game. The day was marked as being the day when the first silverware of the season will be given out. The question was, will Liverpool's juggernaut of a season in the Premier League keep going with a victory and an immediate chance to banish the disappointment of losing to PSG in the Champions League midweek on penalties? For Newcastle, many say more is at stake for them. Long has the wait for any trophy been a monkey on their back. Today was another chance for another 11 players to become immortalised in Geordie football folklore. In the starting 11 for Liverpool, Caoimhín Gallagher was rewarded with his own good form this season by being allowed to continue in goal in this competition ahead of first-choice keeper Alisson. Alexander-Arnold was of course out injured, so Jarell Quansah came in at right back. Otherwise, Liverpool were as expected. For Newcastle, with Anthony Gordon suspended, Harvey Barnes came in again, and it was the same 11 that started against West Ham in their 1-0 victory on Monday night. The game started competitively, as expected, no clear-cut chances, but 100% effort from both teams, meaning that every player on the ball was closed down quickly. Newcastle were going man for man, and after 15 minutes both teams were nullifying each other. Newcastle came here 2 years ago, and the occasion passed them by against Manchester United. The message today would be to keep it tight at the start, stay in the game, gain a foothold in the game. Without the ball, Newcastle were keeping Isaac on his own up front, with Barnes and Murphy tucking back into midfield and sometimes further back to help their full-backs as required. We had to wait for the 23rd minute for the first shot in anger. Newcastle win the ball after a long ball forward from the back. Tonali, outside the box, wants to shoot, but Gravenberch is covering well, and eventually the Italian does shoot, but it is wide. One thing of note at this time was how quiet Newcastle were keeping Mo Salah in the game. 10 touches at this point. By 33 minutes, Newcastle were growing into the game, getting forward more. Isaac and Trippier had 2 efforts blocked by Robertson, and Guimaraes was unlucky not to get more with his head on a header in by Burns, who was dominating deep from Newcastle on corners. By 35 minutes, Liverpool had 61 possession, but no shots on goal or touches in the box, compared to Newcastle's 7 shots, 2 on target, and 11 touches in Liverpool's box. Liverpool just had not got going at all yet. Newcastle had been more productive, but were still to seriously trouble the Liverpool goal. Szoboszlai and McAllister, who had given so much midweek against PSG, were not in the game as yet. Newcastle were playing long balls forward, content to let Liverpool head the first ball, when more often than not either Tonali, Guimaraes or Joelinton were winning the second ball. Then, just before half-time, the moment all Geordie fans had been waiting for, Newcastle were ahead. We spoke earlier about Dan Burn taking up a deeper position at corner kicks, knowing Van Dijk and Konate would dominate the centre. In previous renditions, Burns won the headers and played it into the box, but this time he's able to attack the ball to come about within 13 yards of the goal and direct a header into the bottom right-hand corner unchallenged past the dive of Kelleher. Wembley shook to the sound of Newcastle fans unleashing years of pain and frustration. It was telling, though, that immediately after, Liverpool had their best chance of the match. Suddenly, Szoboszlai is hassling. Suddenly, McAllister wins the ball in midfield. Suddenly, Salah is available to take a ball out wide. His clever cross into the box is a fraction behind Diaz, who knocks it down to Jota, who snaps at it and shoots wide. This is a sign, perhaps, as the referee blows for half-time, that the Reds are not out of this quite yet.